Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and today we're talking about Palermo. The Italian club have fallen on hard times in recent years, with financial woes seeing them docked points, demoted leagues and breaching major financial laws in Italy. In 2019 they were excluded from professional football in Italy, but now they're back and competing in Serie C. And I want to see them competing much higher up the Italian ladder. They had some great players back in the day, so what I'm going to do is send all of Palermo's best players back to the club for 5 years. So heading back to Palermo, we've got Paulo Dybala, Javier Pastore, Salvatore Sirigu, Edinson Cavani, Saul Bamba, Brian Cristante, Andrei Saluska, Uros Derdovic, Abel Hernandez, Simon Kjaer, Josip Ilicic, Akraf Lazar, Robin Quaison and Eren Zahavi, but most importantly not Kyle Lafferty. These players, along with Palermo's current crop, will be there for 5 years, so can they take the pink and blacks back to the top flight of Italian football and restore some glory to this once impressive side? Let's find out. Right, here we are at the start of this simulation. Here are Palermo in the Italian Serie C. They're in the C division. It's split north, middle and south. That's the way the Italian third division is ranked. So Palermo in the south of Italy, I believe, are in the C tier of Italian Serie C, and you can just see here the demise. In the early 2000s, after they climbed their way to the top flight of Italian football, they finished as high as 5th. They did that in 2007, they did it again in 2010. This was the era when they had these incredible players, and then they just fell. They dropped out of Serie B, they got promoted back up again, but in recent years it's just been down and down and down. In 2019 they finished 11th in Serie B, but they were demoted all the way out of professional football in Italy. But now they're back, they're once again a professional club, they are in Serie C, and now they've got all the best players back at the club. There's all the boys here, there's all the star names. I mean, the ones who are going to really set the cat amongst the pigeons here is Paulo Dybala, Simon Kjaer, Josip Ilicic, and probably Brian Cristante and Cavani as well. Although we have a slight issue here because Cavani isn't actually at the club. Why have I only just noticed this now? Oh, tits. How on earth does this happen? I mean, I know what's happened. It's because I've got 2 different databases on the go, but Cavani... Oh, I'm so annoyed. How has this happened? I haven't really got time to simulate this again. We're just going to have to go with it. We've got enough options in attack. I'm really annoyed at that. But we know we've got Ilicic who can play up front, Dybala can play up front, Zahavi can play up front, Quaison can play up front, and so can Abel Hernandez. So we're not going to rely on Cavani for anything here. What a knob. How on earth have I done that? Why didn't I notice? So really this video should be titled, If Palermo Get All of Their Best Players Back, minus Edinson Cavani. I can't even put in the thumbnail now, man, for goodness sake. I can't get that Man United click. Oh, anyway, after that disappointment, let's simulate a year in the future. Let's see if Palermo's returning players can get them into Serie B. Right, here we are at the end of the season, and an Edinson Cavani-less Palermo are going up. They have finished top of Serie C/C division. They have won the league with 78 points, 5 clear of Bari, and I assume there's probably a better way of saying that, not like Barry from EastEnders, but whatever, we're not here to talk about Barry from EastEnders. Anyway, Palermo, Paulo Dybala, the star player in the division, 20 goals to win the Golden Boot, 12 Player of the Match awards, average rating of 7.68 to put him ahead of his teammate Josip Ilicic. Javier Pastore, used to love this guy back in the day, he's got 12 assists to win that joint award, and Salvatore Sirigu, who was part of the Italian European Championship winning squad this summer, has got 19 clean sheets, and Palermo are on their way up to Serie B. Eren Zahavi, the Israeli striker, has got the captain's armband ahead of Simon Kjaer, the Danish captain. Let's check the players out, see who's been the main man, and of course it has been Paulo Dybala, 7.76. Him and Josip Ilicic have been the 2 main men. And the only 2 players to hit double figures, Ilicic getting 12 and Dybala getting 22. Zahavi's done well as well, the captain, he's been playing centre midfield. I wonder what the starting lineup's been actually. So Sirigu's been in goal, obviously 37 appearances, average rating 7.28, wonderful. Brian Cristante has played centre back, which is quite strange, a bit of more of a box to box midfielder, isn't he? Either way, he scored 5 goals, 3 assists. I might be thinking of someone else. Doesn't matter. Brian Cristante there playing centre back. Cheluska in at left back, he's been in and out of the team, but again, alright when he's performed. Ilicic on the right wing, great. Pastore and Zahavi in the middle, that is a creative duo. I mean, not a lot of legs, but that's fine. Robin Quaison on the left wing, done alright. And the two up top, Paulo Dybala and Abel Hernandez. Abel Hernandez been a bit of a, I'm going to say a super sub. I mean, he's made 12 appearances off the bench, scored 6 goals, rolling back the years. There's some players who haven't really featured that much. Sol Bamba's only played 5 times, which is a bit disappointing. Uros Zerdovic, again, only got 1 goal from 10 starts, 15 sub appearances. Simon Kjaer, I'm going to assume he's missed the last game due to injury because he's played 29 times. And he's been excellent, one of the star performers with a 7.3. The only other player who isn't even on the bench here is Akraf Lazar. Newcastle fans will know him well, or maybe they'll not, because he was absolutely crap when he was at Newcastle, barely played. But he's actually played 20 times in the league, 18 of them starts, average rating of 6.81, which considering we're in the 3rd tier of Italian football, isn't very good. This is a guy who spent years in Serie A, well, he spent a couple of years in Serie A. Akraf Lazar, just not very good at football, is he? But most importantly, Palermo are going up. They've done the job so far. They had a great start to the season, actually. There was no cup competitions. They won the Super Cup. And now they will be going up to the 2nd tier of Italian football. The returning stars of Palermo have completed mission 1. Can they go all the way? Let's simulate another year into the future. Let's see if they can make it to Serie A. Right, here we are at the end of Season 2 and Palermo have done it. They have done back-to-back promotions to make it back to Serie A. For the first time since they were relegated in 2017. They were top of the league, 74 points, 10 clear of Frosinone who came second. Paulo Dybala once again the best player in the division and once again winning the Golden Boot. This time only with 16 goals, but that doesn't matter. He's got the award, he's the best player in the league and Palermo are going up. Quick one to notice here, Spal finished 9th ahead of Brescia because they were randomly chosen because both teams had an identical record. Imagine if those two teams had been in like actually important positions. Like imagine if that had been the top two and it was just decided by a flip of a coin. You'd be fuming if that went against you. But here with Palermo they are going up, still got Zahavi as the captain, still got Simon Kjaer as the vice captain, and still Paulo Dybala is the best player at the club. Robin Quaison's had a good season though, 7.49. Him and Josip Ilicic, great performances from them. Brian Cristante now playing in centre midfield, much better. And Uros Zerdovic, who didn't play much in the first season, is at a much better second year. 31 starts, 9 goals and 5 assists. But in contrast, Abel Hernandez has barely played, 19 appearances off the bench, and he only scored once in Season 2. But the majority of the returning players have had another good season despite the step up in class. Simon Kjaer's still been good, Sirigu's still been good, Zahavi's still been good, despite his age and legs. I mean, he's 34 here for goodness sake. You'll notice every player's just got joining Juventus on the 1st of July 2025. Just for ease, when I was trying to do the editor, it was easier just to send them all to the same club, because evidently it's not going to matter. I'm not going to simulate it past 2025 when all these players leave. Of the players who haven't really performed, little bit disappointed with Javier Pastore. Only 1 goal, 8 assists, which is an alright tally. I mean, I say alright, it's the joint best at Palermo, but his average rating is below a 7. Andres Saluska's not had a particularly great season, again below a 7, but alright. And Sol Bamba, not very good either. And once again, Akraf Lazar, absolutely naff. Step up in division, playing even worse, 6.67. How did this guy stay at Newcastle so long? He's useless. Let's check the schedule out, see how they got on in Serie B. It was a wonderful, wonderful start to the season. They didn't taste defeat until the 23rd of October. They were brilliant. They started off with 3 straight wins. And it's no wonder they have won the title with ease. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals of the Italian Cup as well, which is pretty impressive, where they were beaten 2-0 by Napoli. En route to the quarterfinals, they even beat Sassuolo on penalties, which is pretty good going. One of the more entertaining teams in Serie A. But after 2 seasons, even without Edinson Cavani, things are going perfectly. Palermo, 2 promotions back to back, both times league champions. This time in Season 3, they will be back in Serie A for the first time since 2017. Will they be able to make them out? They're still going to have some good players there. I mean, Paulo Dybala, Ilicic, Cristante, Quaison, Kiar, great players who, I mean, the likes of Dybala, Cristante, Ilicic and Kiar already performing in Serie A. They're going to be back there. Can they restore glory to Palermo? For reference, their best finish, 5th in 2007 and once again in 2010. Can they get close to that? Let's simulate the third year into the future. Let's find out. Okay, here we are at the end of season 3 and I've got bad news for you guys. Palermo have been relegated. They're going straight back down to Serie B. They have came 18th with 31 points on the board, 8 clear of Sassuolo, who survived in 17th place. So it hasn't been a happy return to the top flight for the black and pinks, or the pink and blacks, whatever you want to call them. They got 8 wins, 7 draws, goal difference minus 27, so it wasn't the worst in the division. I mean, Frosinone and Venezia were worse, and they were the other 2 teams that went down. But it's a disappointing season for Palermo. Let's check the schedule out, see how they got on. It was a slow start of the season. They didn't taste victory until they played Venezia on the 12th of September. A 2-1 win. A dramatic finish, actually. All 3 goals coming in the final 15 minutes. After that, they did get a big win. They beat Roma 1-0 at home. Yet again, Paulo Dybala with the goal. Were there any other shock results? Doesn't really look like it. Beaten by Juventus there. Did the double over Venezia, which is good. Got to beat your relegation rivals. Doesn't really look like there were any real major shocks other than that win over Roma, which was, you know, as we'll say, pretty damn impressive. Beaten by Juventus home and away, losing 2-1 and 1-0, which, I mean, it's not hammering, but it's still a defeat. That's all that really matters. Let's check the players out, see who's been the stars, and of course it's still Paulo Dybala with 16 goals. It looks like they've got a new arrival in Daniel Besser. He's arrived and has done pretty well, but they've only had 5 players who've got an average rating of higher than a 7. 3 of those are the players who've returned to the club: Simon Kiar, Robin Quaison, and the undisputed star, Paulo Dybala. Even Josip Ilicic was lower than a 7. I mean, he's only just lower than a 7, but lower than a 7 nonetheless. Salvatore Sirigu's rating's gone down, 6.83, but I mean, considering he's probably conceded a lot more goals, that's not a surprise. Achraf Lazar, why is he still playing so much football? Even though he's played more football this season than he has before. In Serie A, he's played 36 times, 34 of which were starts, and his average rating was 6.5. That is shocking. Javier Pastore's barely played, 2 starts, 5 substitute appearances, no goals, no assists, average rating 6.45. That's appalling. Abel Hernandez didn't play a single minute of football. That's the problem with these experiments. The deeper you go into the simulation, depending on how old the players are, they get to an age where they're basically just useless. You might as well just take them around the back of the shed and have them put down. That is brutal. Do not put people down. Oh dear, anyway, let's move on. Paulo Dybala, he's been good, hasn't he? 16 goals, my oh my, what a player. I forgot to mention at the start of this simulation, I put everyone on quite low wages, just so it wasn't any real drain on Palermo, since they've already had financial issues. But they are going back down to Serie B. It hasn't been a happy return to Serie A. So when we do season 4, they will be back in the 2nd tier of Italian football. Can they come straight back up? Let's find out. Right, here we are at the end of season 4, and Palermo are going straight back up to the top flight. They have done it again. They have won the title. 75 points, 9 clear of Venezia. I think it's the 3 teams that went down actually who are coming straight back up. 75 points, 22 wins, 9 draws and 7 defeats. The best goal difference in the entire division, 24. Wonderful from Palermo. Paulo Dybala hasn't won the Golden Boot. He got 17, beaten by Forte, who got 18. And Dybala wasn't even the best player in the division, with Robin Quaison finishing ahead of him with 7.58 compared to the Argentine's 7.48. Don't know why I rattled through that like I'm having a heart attack, but whatever. Let's check Palermo out. Simon Kiar is now the captain, Dybala the vice captain. I'm going to assume Zahavi must have retired. I mean, which is fair enough, he is quite old. A few players once again didn't play any minutes. Andres Saluska didn't play, neither did Sol Bamba. Javier Pastore only made 2 appearances off the bench, and Abel Hernandez started 2 games. Djurdovic only got 1 start, did score twice. I assume that came off the bench, which is a bit better. Ruben Rashina, there's a name Blackburn fans will know well. Ruben Rashina signed for Palermo on a free, 7 assists in Serie B. God, that was a random era, wasn't it, for Blackburn? That was the Stephen Keane days. That was, the famous Venky's chicken advert. What a time to be alive that was. I mean, not for Blackburn fans, it was absolutely appalling. Achraf Lazar, he's barely played finally. He made one appearance and it was actually a really good one, 7.2. His morale's extremely good, maybe because he hasn't had to play football. Absolute fraudster, man. Josip Ilicic, not great, but I mean, he is getting on a bit. How old are we here? 36. He's getting on. Robin Quaison, 9 goals, 5 assists to make him the best player, which is quite surprising considering Paulo Dybala got 18 goals and 7 assists, but he was only 0.01 ahead of the Argentinian, so it's not a massive difference. Sirigu and Cristante are both doing well, as is Simon Kjaer, and Palermo are going straight back up to Serie A. Zahavi's still there actually. He hasn't retired, he's still there, didn't play much, and that's fine, he's quite old, we'll let him off. But the returning Palermo heroes, not Edinson Cavani, are going to get one more chance in the top flight of Italian football. This final season, the 5th season, is going to be the last dance. Can they survive in Serie A? Can they do what the Chicago Bulls did? No, they're not going to win the title. Can they at least survive? Let's simulate one more year. Come on, lads, you can do it. Survive. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's find out. Okay, here we are for the 5th and final time, the 12th of June 2025, and your eyes do not deceive you. Palermo have done it. They have survived, and they have done it with relative ease. They have came 13th in the league, 45 points on the board, nowhere near the relegation zone, 18 points clear. They have survived at a canter, and once again they can thank Paulo Dybala, who's won yet another golden boot, 20 Serie A goals to put him top of the pile ahead of Vlahovic. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I haven't researched it to find out. You know who he is, the really good striker. Anyway, Dybala, 20 goals. Roma are actually winning Serie A with 84 points. Is Jose Mourinho still the manager there? He is. Jose Mourinho winning himself Serie A. Well done, Jose. But we're here to talk about Palermo, and I'm so happy they survived, man. What an end to this experiment. 45 points. Put them above Sassuolo, put them ahead of Udinese, ahead of Bologna, above Parma, above Empoli, above Frosinone, and above Venezia. That was a mouthful. Palermo, Simon Kjaer the captain, Paulo Dybala the vice skipper. Best player at the club, no surprise, Paulo Dybala with 22 goals. The 3 stars were 3 returning players, Brian Cristante and Robin Quaison. Cristante wasn't really even a star of Palermo, he just had a loan spell there, but he's good enough, and that's why he made it into this simulation. As for Robin Quaison, he had a few years at Palermo, but wasn't really a star. He's done much better in his second spell, I'll tell you that for now. But in the final season, Simon Kjaer, he's barely played. Juris Djurdjevic, he's barely played. Shaluska barely played. Zahavi barely played. Abel Hernandez didn't play. Achraf Lazar didn't play. Pastore didn't play. And Sol Bamba didn't play. Whilst this video is about the returning Palermo stars, by the end of Season 5, the only ones who have got that are still really playing a part is Salvatore Sirigu, Josip Ilicic, Robin Quaison, Brian Cristante, and the man of the hour, not like the AEW guys, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, Paulo Dybala. That's not the man of the hour, they're the men of the year. I'm getting so many things wrong, man. Wrestling fans won't know what I did there, but it doesn't really matter. Let's check Palermo out as a club, and club legends, you've got Josip Ilicic, you've got Paulo Dybala. I mean, it's no surprise that he's a club legend. In the favoured personnel, we've also got Robin Quaison, and we've got the manager, Giacomo Filippi, who's taken Palermo back to Serie A. Let's briefly check the schedule out, see if they did anything in the cups. I'm going to assume no. They made it to the quarterfinals again, beaten in extra time by Fiorentina. But has this simulation been a success? I mean, it started off on a bad front when we forgot about Edinson Cavani, or there was a bit of a blunder there. I'm very sorry he wasn't included. Under normal circumstances, I would have been able to go back, re-simulate this, make sure he was there, but I'm on a time scale today. Wasn't anything I could do. I can only apologise for that. But as you can see here, Palermo, back-to-back promotions, 3 promotions in a row for them. two of them in this simulation, up and down from Serie A, but in the 5th season they finished 13th in Serie A, surviving in the top flight and doing pretty damn good. Palermo, they're not quite a fallen giant, but they're quite a famous club. They've had many stars who've gone on to achieve great things in the game, but they returned for 5 seasons and 5 seasons only, and they took Palermo from Serie C all the way back to the top flight of Italian football, and that is where we are going to leave things. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time, we will see you around.